Okay, dear. We are going to start our thermal properties and temperature. This is our learning objectives. In this topic, we discuss these questions. What is temperature and heat? Okay, first you understand the what is temperature and heat. So, in the previous classes, we discussed the temperature. Temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness, and the average kinetic energy of the molecule. And the kinetic molecule energy of the molecule is called the temperature. And what is heat? Heat is the form of energy, and it transfers from one form to another form. This is the definition of heat. So this is the kinetic theory. Particles are constantly moving and have kinetic energy. The higher the temperature, the faster they move. So the more kinetic energy they contain, it is very uh, common thing. If you increase the temperature, the speed of the molecules increases because temperature depends on the kinetic energy, and energy will form from a hotter object to a colder one. Particles in the hot object will lose kinetic energy, whereas particles in the cold object will gain energy. So it's very simple. Energy is always flows from higher temperature to lower temperature. If you have a cup of tea, if you have a hot cup of tea, and you see after some time, after a few minutes or after a few times, you can see that its temperature decreases, and the temperature of the tea and the temperature of the surrounding both are same. So it means that there is a thermal equilibrium, means temperature is heat is transferred continuously until the temperature of the tea and the temperature of the surrounding are same. So it means heat is flow from higher temperature to lower temperature body. This is the expression of heat. Energy will continue to flow until both objects reach the same temperature. Object at the same temperature will have the same average kinetic energy per particle. So as I told you, as temperature and heat the same, are temperature and heat the same? No, because a spoonful of boiling water 100 degrees centigrade will have less thermal energy. It means temperature and heat not both are same. Then a beaker of boiling water at the same temperature. Understand, beta? Do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Thermal expansion. What is the thermal expansion? Thermal means heat, expansion means expand of the object. Any object that can be expand, this is called thermal expand. Any object that can be expand by heating, this is called thermal expansion. The increase in volume of a material when its temperature rises, this is called thermal expansion. Okay, there's a cold and there's a hot. So, when heated solids and liquids and gases gain thermal energy, the particles start to move about more. Their vibrations take up more space. So, there is expansion in all directions. The position is true. The opposite is true. When the temperature falls, the material will get smaller, means contract. So as you can see in the diagram, there's a particles which are close to each other. This is the cold, and the second one is the hot. The particles are uh, have some distances between them, so it means they expand. When you give the heat to the object, the molecules expand like this diagram. Liquid expand more when heated than solids. Gases expand more than heated than liquids, depending upon pressure, volume, and temperature. So means liquid expand more when heated than solid. Means when you heat the liquid, it expands more than solid. Okay, and but when you heated gases, it expands more than liquid. Its expansion is greater than liquid, but it depends on the pressure, volume, and temperature, means conditions. Thermal expansion, there is a iron rod, you can see, A strong steel bar is fixed within the apparatus frame by a large nut at one end and a cast iron peg at the other. When the bar is heated, the cast iron peg snaps because of the huge force in the bar. It is also possible to make another peg through break when the bar contracts on cooling by tightening the nut when the bar expands. Okay, Abdul Hadi, can you please explain this explanation?
Okay. When the heat comes, the steel bar expands due to the heat, which is
Good.
thermal expansion, and the cast iron pegs do not expand, so they are then the breaking because they cannot hold the steel bar anymore due to its size.
Okay, that's good, beta. Why do we have small gaps between the rails? You can see there is a track of rails. Why do we have small gaps between the rail? It's very common. It's very simple due to the thermal expansion. Because when the temperature rises in summer season, when the temperature rises, the track of the rail expands. That's why they gave a small gap between the tracks. That if they didn't if they doesn't give apply they doesn't left the gap, so this means the track will break. This is done to solve the problem of thermal expansion and contraction of railroad rails. If there is no such gap, the steel rails will squeeze, twist, and buckle when they are extremely heated and deform the entire railway. When the weather is hot in summer, the length of the rail increases and the rails without reserved gaps can only bulge upwards, which is not good for driving safety. To avoid this phenomena, a gap must be reserved between the rails. You can see the there is a gap between the rails. Yeah, if the engineer doesn't give the gap, so then the what will happen? The track will be will be disorder or will be break. That's why this is not safety for the driving. So that's why the engineer left the gap between the track of the rails. Understand? Effects of expansion and contraction. You can see rivets are used to join steel plates. There are sir, these are the rivets, and rivets are used to join steel plates. When red hot, the rivet is slotted through both metal plates. It is then hammered flat and allowed to cool. As the rivet cools, it contracts and pulls the steel plates together. So you can see in the diagram there is a rivet between the plates. When the summer season it expands, but it doesn't left. When the temperature decreases, it's come back to its original. It contract when it come back to its original condition. It means it contract. That's why we use the rivet between the uh, steels between the two plates. Thermal expansion. Girders in buildings and bridges are made with gaps at the ends. Glass to be used in cooking has to be a low expansion type such as Pyrex, otherwise it would shatter as it got hot. Rivets are heated before they are put in place to hold two metal plates together. Ap- These are the this belongs to previous slide, so I left it. Application of expansion and contraction riveting. Rivets are applied when heated. Once cooled, they contact and bind the metal sheets together tightly. So this way, as I discussed previously, so I left this slide. There is another example of expansion of gaps. You can see the engineer left the gaps between the pillar of the bridges. How? Why? because when expansion occurs, the gap filled, and when the temperature decreases, it contract and it's come back to its original condition. So that's why the gap is for the expansion and contraction. But if the engineer doesn't left the gap, the bridge will break as this diagram. So it is harmful for us. That's why the engineer gives the gap. Thermal expansion. So leaders in building and bridges are made with the gap at the end. So it is similar as the previous one. Bridges have gaps to allow for expansion. Rollers may be used at one end so that movement can take place. Means this is cold day, this is hot day. So you can see that suspended overhead cables are left slack to allow for contraction that could happen on a very cold day. Okay? It means when there's a very cold day, it means the contraction will be occur. On there's a hotter day, it means expansion will be occur. Thermal expansion. There is a thermometer. You can see there is a thermometer. As the temperature rises, the liquid in the bulb expands, and so rises up the narrow tube, which is calibrated to fixed points 0 degree to 100 degree. So it means we have thermometer. There's another example or another applications of thermal expansion. You see the thermometer, and there is a bulb. At the bottom of the thermometer, there is a liquid. In the bottom of the thermometer, when the temperature rises, the liquid expands and it's pull up, and the temp we can and we read the reading through this liquid. So this means when the temperature rises, the liquid expands. When the temperature decreases or when the temperature falls, the liquid contract. So you can see easily the reading of the in thermometer through this expansion. So you can another example of bimetallic strip. You can see bimetallic strip is in a bimetallic strip a low expansion metal. Example invar is bonded to a high expansion metal, example brass. As the strip is heated, the brass expands more than the invar, causing the strip is bent. Bimetallic strips may be used in thermostat devices for maintaining a steady temperature, such as in water heaters. So bimetallic strip, first you understand the what is bimetallic strip. Bimetallic strip is made up of two different metals. Okay, we have two different metals. For example, one is iron, the second one is steel, and we attached these two plates over one another. And when the temperature rises, the expansion occur, and you know that both the two plates are have different expansion, different capability for expansion. So if the iron expands more quicker than the than the steel plate, so it means the strip bend. So this band will help us for the maintaining temperature in alarming devices, in thermostats, or in our iron clothing of iron. So you can see in our home appliances. So there is a diagram. There is a diagram. You can see this diagram. You can understand this diagram. There is a cool. There is a bimetallic strip. There is a bimetallic strip. Because this when this strip is attached with this point, it means current flows in the circuit. This means the temperature rises, the current passes through the circuit. After some time, the strip bend. Why this bend? Because when the temperature rises, the rods are the expand. The one both rods have different expansion, so that's why it bends. If the rod both have the same material, if you use in this strip, both have same but both will be same material, so a strip will be expand in a linear direction, in a straight direction. But when you use two different materials like copper and like iron, so you can see that iron is more quick, is more expansion than the copper, because the expansion capability of expansion of iron is greater and the capability of expansion of copper is lesser. That's why the strip bends and the will disconnect switch will disconnect, as this you can see in diagram. So that's why you can say that the current will stop, and the current is stop in the circuit. So that's why we can see that it works on the thermostat, as a thermostat. You can see in your home appliances like clothing of iron, when you fix the iron fix in a certain point, you can see that iron is not heated more than that point as you fixed. Why? Because when the temperature rises, the strip bends and the circuit disconnect. The iron is off. When the temperature falls, strip is again connected with the circuit and the current flows. So it continuously, this process continuously uh, occurs when the switch is on. Okay, beta. I hope you understand. If you have any question, you can ask me.
No, try and understand.
This is a major topic, bimetallic strip, as you see in the past papers. Thermal expansion and the mystery of floating ice. As the hot water cools, so its contracts get smaller. However, as water freezes, it actually expands as ice is formed. This expansion can be enough to split water pipes and rocks. This is the mystery. You can use the word mystery. Why? Because water has anomalous expansion. Water has anomalous expansion. That's why we use the mystery word. That's why we use the word mystery. Okay. So in liquid water, the water molecules are closer together. In ice, the water molecules link up in a very open structure that takes up more space than in the liquid. Means, as the above statement, you can see that as the hot water cools, so it contracts. As you see, when the hot water cools, it contracts. However, as the water freezes, it actually expands. You see, when the water freezes, it expands. It actually, as ice is formed, this expansion can be enough to split water pipes. So that means when the water is converted into ice, it expands. It doesn't contract. As you see, as the any liquid that freezes, if you want to this, if you want the free, for example, if you have a liquid, any liquid, okay, so you can see that the expansion, the when you push the Melpeta, can you please switch off the mic? Dis- yes, beta. It's very your mic is disturbance. That's why. So you can see in the diagram, okay, that there's a mist word. They use the word mystery. Why? Because most of the liquids contract when you freezes them, but where in water, when you freezes the water, it expands. Why? This expansion, why? Because there is a hydrogen bonding. So we are not going to discuss this anomalous behavior. We just simply discuss the mystery of floating ice. So we forgot it. So we simply remember that the liquid contracts, but when the water freezes, it expands. So it actually expands as the ice is formed. This expansion can be enough to split water pipes and rocks. Why does this happen? Because in liquid water, the water molecules are close together. That's why. In the ice, the water molecules link up in a very open structure. When the water is converted into ice, the structure of the ice, just like is this a crystal is type of structure. That's which means this is a open structure, very open structure. That takes up more space than in the liquid. That's why the ice floating on the water, ice doesn't sink. The density of the ice is lower than of liquid, and so ice floats on water. As you see, ice floats on the water because the structure of the ice is open. It's very the molecules are some distances from each other, but in the liquid, the molecules are closer to each other, so there's the density is greater. When the molecules are closer to each other, the density greater, and in the ice, the molecules are have distance some distances. It means its density is low. That's why ice float on the surface of the water. Okay, beta. The first you understand the open structure molecules start to form at about 4 degrees centigrade, just above the freezing point of water. Water therefore expands very slightly between 4 degree and 0 degree. Water is expands very slightly between 4 degree and 0 degree. So you must remember the temperature. Which temperature? This temperature. This is the 4 degree centigrade. 4 degree centigrade is the temperature where the water of the density is maximum. Water of the density is maximum at 4 degrees centigrade. So you must remember this temperature. Thermal expansion and gases. You can see that expansion. So as the apparatus below, a fixed volume of the gas is heated at each temperature point. Pressure is measured on the gauge. As the temperature of the gas increases, so does the pressure. Molecules are moving faster, so are hitting the side of the container with greater force. So you can see that there is a container, and the molecules and the gas are present in the container, and you give the heat, and you fix the volume. So what is the relation between as gas pressure and temperature? You see that if a graph is plotted between P against T, the graph is a straight line. If extended backward, it cuts the temperature axis at minus 273 degrees centigrade, absolute zero. You see this graph. Okay, what is the graph? What graph tell us? There is a expansion. There is a relation between pressure and temperature. First, you understand the relation between pressure and temperature. Okay, for when you increase the pressure, the temperature will be. What will happen in temperature? When you increase the pressure, the temperature will be rises. When you decrease the pressure, temperature will be fall. So in this scenario, at a constant volume, at a constant volume, and you give the heat of the cylinder, which are cylinder contains the gas, what will happen? The temperatures, if the graph is plotting between P and T, the straight line. So graph. This is the graph. This is the graph, and this is straight line graph. This graph against temperature and pressure. But you can see this in this graph. There is a there's something in graph. What is the absolute zero? Means when you decrease the temperature, when you decrease the temperature like this, when you decrease the temperature, the liquid is uh, is converted into gases, and you continuously when you decrease the temperature of the gases, when you decrease the temperature of the gases, the gases is cooling down. The temperature is cool is false, and until there is a temperature where the gases are stopped. The gases particles of the gases are stopped, means there is a zero kinetic energy. For example, there is a gas, is a container, there's a gas in the container. You decrease the temperature. The molecules are continuously in motion. Molecules are continuously in motion. And you decrease the temperature. Your temperature decreases. uh, at you decreases at minus 273, minus 273 degrees centigrade. At this temperature, all of the particles of the gases are stopped. There is no kinetic energy, there is no motion between the molecules. At this temperature, you can see that all the gases are at absolute temperature. So this means you can see that this is the absolute zero. Absolute zero means minus 273 degree centigrade. You remember these words. Minus 273 degree centigrade means absolute zero. You must remember for the MCQs. You understand, beta? Nazi, do you understand?
Yes, sir, I do from Microsoft.
Okay. Thermal expansion and gases. Absolute zero means if the temperature of a gas is reduced, the particles have less energy and move more slowly. Eventually, at a particular temperature, the particles stop moving completely. This temperature is the lowest possible temperature and is known as absolute zero, as I told you in your previous slide. This is the absolute zero. Absolute zero is also known as the 0 Kelvin or 0 K. To convert from degree centigrade to K, just add 273. As you simply remember this conversion, if you have a temperature 120 degrees centigrade, convert this temperature into Kelvin, you simply add 273. So means 120 plus 273, your answer will be 393. This is the conversion. Thermal expansion gases, the pressure law. This is the pressure law. What is pressure law? For a fixed mass of gas at constant volume, the pressure is directly proportional to the Kelvin temperature. Means in this statement, they said that mass of a gas at constant volume is constant volume is constant. The pressure is directly proportional to the Kelvin temperature. Is directly proportional to the Kelvin temperature. And you when constant, you remove the constant, there is a constant, and this temperature is shifted into division, so then P over T is equals to constant. You can see this. This is the pressure law. Pressure law said that when you increase the pressure, increase the temperature, decrease the pressure, decrease the temperature. A sealed container of 25 liters, the gas inside is at a pressure of 1 bar. 1 bar means 1 atm and a temperature of 300 K. What will be the pressure? B if the temperature is increased to 325 K. You use the simply pressure law. P1 V1 is equals to P2 V2. You see that there is a formula P over T is equals to constant, and there is a equation P1 over T1 is equals to P2 over T2. How you get this equation from the P over T? You simply P1 over T1 is the initial state and P2 over T2 is equals to final state, and you compare these two constant, so you get the P1 over T1 is equals to P2 over T2. So you simply use the formula. So you simply and the pressure P1 is 1 and T1 is 300 and P2 is requirement and PT2 is 325. You simply solve this, so your answer is 1.08 bar or 1.08 atm. Charles law. Charles law link together volume and temperature. Charles law is linked volume and temperature. How? Fix the mass of a gas at constant pressure. In the pressure law, volume is constant, and in the Charles law, pressure is constant. The volume is directly proportional to the Kelvin temperature. V is proportional to temperature, and when you remove the constant or proportional sign, you put the constant and you shift it V over T is equals to constant, or for initial state V1 over T1 is equals to constant, and V2 over T2 is equals to constant for final state. And you compare these two equations, you get this formula: V1 over T1 is equals to V2 over T2. This is the Charles law. Example: a gas at a constant pressure and has a volume of 22 liters with a temperature of 280 K. What will the volume be if the temperature increases to 320 K? V1 over T1 is used, simply use the Charles law. V1 is 22 and T1 is 280, and V2 is our requirement and T2 is 320. So simply solve this formula and get the answer. It is 225.1 liters. This is the laws of the gases, gas laws. Okay, then we start the next topic. This is temperature, measuring temperature. What is temperature? And we already discussed uh, in this class at the beginning. So that temperature is the degree of hotness or cold. How can you measure temperature? How can you measure temperature? We can use the temperature. We can measure the temperature through apparatus. Which apparatus? This is the thermometer. We use the thermometer for measuring temperature. Temperature in everyday situation are usually measured in degree Celsius, also referred to sometimes as the centigrade scale. Temperature is usually measured in degree centigrade or degree Celsius, degree C. Also, and or sometimes we said that degree centigrade scale, and also measure temperature in Fahrenheit and in Kelvin. But most of the but in the day routine, we use the degree centigrade. We have a thermometer. You can see in the diagram. Thermometer, every scale have 2 points, the lowest point and the highest point. So in thermometer we have 2 points. The lowest point is the freezing point, and highest point is the boiling point. 0 degree the freezing point of pure water, and 100 degree the boiling point of pure water, as I already told you. Sun surface, this is the temperature of the sun surface is 6000 degree, Bunsen flame 1500, human body 37 degree. To remember this, this is the uh, temperature of human body. They can ask in past paper the temperature of the human body is 37 degrees centigrade, and you also remember this temperature minus 273 degrees centigrade. And freezer food means you have a freezer. uh, uh, Most of the freezers have the temperature minus 20 degrees centigrade where the food is freezed, and the temperature of human body is 37 degree centigrade, and the absolute zero is 273 minus 273. Then measure. So exactly how exactly is the thermometer calibrated? So there is a lower fixed point 0 degree. 0 degree Celsius is defined as the melting point of pure ice. Any impurities will affect the value obtained. Means, for example, if you have a glass and you put the cubes of ice in the glass, and you put the thermometer in the glass, the temperature of the thermometer shows on this scale is 0 degree centigrade, because the temperature of ice is 0 degree centigrade, and its temperature doesn't change until the whole ice melts. When the whole ice melts, then its temperature increases. Means when the freezing point occurs, at freezing point the temperature is 0 degree centigrade, or when the ice melts, whole ice melts, then increase the temperature. It shows the increase the temperature in thermometer. Means so you can say that, but if there's a condition, any impurities will affect. If you have a not pure, for if it not pure ice, for example, there's some impurities are present in the ice, so there it means their temperature will be decreases more than 0 degree centigrade. Why? Because their impurities affect the value obtained. That's why use the word pure water. 100 degree centigrade is the upper point. When the water boils, when you put a glass, when you put a bowl on the burner, and there's a water on the burner, and you see that when the water boils, you put the temperature is 100 degree centigrade, and it doesn't increase the temperature at 100 degrees after it doesn't increase the temperature of 100 degree centigrade. Why? Because the water is boiled and it converted into it into gaseous state, means water evaporates, and the whole and the water evaporates until the whole water evaporates. Its temperature is same, will be same at 100 degrees centigrade. So where and there's a condition. Which condition? Any impurities will affect the value obtained. Means if there's a impurities in water, for example, impurity means salt. There's a salt. There's some other thing. There's some chemical, other chemical. So you can see that when the purity involves in the beaker, in the bowl, you can see that the temperature will be that value of the temperature affected. Having fixed the 0 degree, 100 degree, the rest of the scale is made by dividing the length into 100 equal division or degree. Means the scale of the thermometer, we can see that the scale of the thermometer, we divide the scale of the thermometer into 100 equal equal parts. One part is equals to 1 degree, second part is 2 degree, third part is 3 degree, 4 degree, 5 degree. So it means we have a 100 parts, equal parts on the scale of the thermometer. Measuring temperature. Measuring temperature. Features of liquid and glass thermometers. How can you measure? There is a measuring temperature. Mostly liquids expand slightly when heated. This property is put to use in thermometer filled with alcohol or mercury. Means you see the thermometer commonly. There is a clinical thermometer where you see the thermometer uh, at the table of the doctor. You can see there is a clinical thermometer, because this thermometer has the small range of the scale. But when you see the thermometer on the laboratory, so there is a large range scale, 0 to 100 degree centigrade normally. So you can see that there's a mostly liquid expands slightly when heated. This property is put to use in thermometer filled with alcohol or mercury. You can see that there is a liquid which are present on in the bulb of the thermometer. You can see the bulb of the bulb means there's a point. There's a bottom part of the thermometer. There's a just like a bulb. So there's a liquid inside the bulb. Sometimes many times liquid is like red. There's a liquid we use. They use the liquid. Sometimes they do use the mercury, or sometimes they use the alcohol. Alcohol is in when alcohol is used mostly in the coldest areas, and mostly because the freezing point of the alcohol is very less, is less than the mercury. That's why we use the alcohol in the coldest areas, but normally we use mercury. Sensitivity: the narrower the tube, the more the liquid inside moves, making the thermometer more sensitive to changes in temperature. Means they use the narrow tube, not a wider tube. There is a tube inside the thermometer of which is very narrow, because the narrow tube increases the sensitivity. When the temperature rises, the liquid expands, and there's a very narrow tube. It expands more quicker than the wider tube. That's why we use the narrow tube. And alcohol expands more than mercury. Mean alcohol expands more than mercury, so mercury thermometer must have a narrow tube than the alcohol one. Means alcohol has little wider tube than the mercury thermometer. Why? Because alcohol expands more quicker than mercury. That's why we use the little wider tube inside the mercury when you use the liquid alcohol. Because if you put the narrow tube in the alcohol thermometer, so it may your value will be affected. So that's why we use the little narrow tube in the alcohol. Range mercury has freezing point is minus. The range has a freezing point of mercury of 39 degrees and boiling point of 356 degree. Alcohol freezing point minus 115, but why that 78 degree? As I already told you, mercury freezing point is 39. At 39 degrees centigrade, mercury freezes, and 356 degrees centigrade is the boiling point. But alcohol freezes minus 115 degrees centigrade. That's why we use alcohol in mercury in the thermometer, where the temperature has very less, means coldest areas. In coldest areas, we use the alcohol thermometer. Why? Because the freezing point of the alcohol is minus 115, and the freezing point, if you use the mercury thermometer, though their temperature will be their freezing point is 39 degree. 39 degree means uh, mercury thermometer is failed at the coldest areas. Responsiveness thermometer will larger bulb or thicker glass around the bulb respond less quickly to changes in thermometer. Means responsiveness means thermometer with larger bulb or thicker glass around the bulb. Means larger bulb means at bulb, where is the bulb? Bulb at the is placed at the bottom of the thermometer. If your mercury has the larger bulb, or thicker glass, the uh, thickness of the glass around the bulb respond less quickly to change in temperature. This is the responsiveness. Linearity, the expansion of the mercury is not quite linear compared with the alcohol. They offer slightly, but these differences are not significant between 0 degree and 100 degree centigrade. This is the linearity. You must remember that the expansion of the mercury is not quite linear compared with the alcohol. Alcohol expands linearly, but the mercury doesn't quite linear. They differ slightly, but these differences are not significant. But though both uh, use both significance are not affected, so that's why we simply say that they we neglect these differences. There is a previous one slide, similar previous slide, measuring temperature. Example of thermometer, clinical thermometer, as I already told you. And there is a clinical thermometer measures human temperature very accurately. Scale is restricted to a few degrees either side of the normal body temperature. 37, a restriction in the neck stops the mercury from dropping until the reading is less is taken. So, for example, digital thermometer, there's a clinical thermometer. Thermometer is commonly used, but in the modern era, you can see that there's a digital thermometer, and most some doctors use digital thermometer. It's very accurate. Contains a thermistor inside the probe. As the temperature rises, the thermistor becomes a much better conductor, causing a higher current to flow, and so higher reading on the meter. There is a thermocouple thermometer. What is thermocouple thermometer? Two different metals are joined together to form two junctions in the probe. A temperature difference between the two junctions causes a tiny voltage, resulting in the flow of current. The greater the temperature difference, the between the two junctions, the bigger the current. I give you example like diagram. Through the diagram, there is a two beaker. Two different metals are joined, and their temperature is 0 degree, means there is a ice, and their temperature is 50 degrees centigrade. You use two wires. The one is made up of copper, the second one is made up of iron. These are the junction, and you put the voltmeter V and connect it with the wire, and you see there is a temperature difference. There is a 50 degree centigrade and there is a 0 degree centigrade. So their temperature difference, so means the temperature, the electrons flows, the electron flows, because you see that energy flows from higher temperature to lower temperature. So it means there is a electron flows through the wire from 50 degree to 0 degree. So this voltmeter gives the reading. Voltmeter gives the reading. So say this is the thermocouple thermometer. Two different metals are joined together to form two junctions in the probe. So this is the two junctions, and to have different materials, a temperature difference between the two junctions causes a tiny voltage. These two differences, these difference between the temperature gives the voltage, and resulting in the flow of current. As I already told you, the greater the temperature difference between the two junctions, the bigger the current. If you increase the temperature difference, for example 80 degree, means bigger the amount of current. This is the thermocouple, and this thermocouple, the thermometer, is used mostly used in the very coldest areas, below below the minus 115 degree centigrade, because where that alcohol thermometer and the mercury thermometer or clinical thermometer failed. That's why we use the thermocouple thermometer. I hope you understand this class. If you have any question, you can ask me, beta.